Hi, this is Tasha testing. Wait, did you hit it?
Of course I hit it.
It says starting.
How do we know?
It says starting.
Yeah, but it's not there yet. I don't think.
Is it going? Wait, do we have to go to our...
But it says starting.
Let me see if it pops up as a live.
Ah,
See,
there it is.
Is it ready? Tasha,
I think
we're
it's
ready.
ready. Yeah.
Hey guys, it's Joseph.
And Tasha from One Big Happy Life. And Alexis. Come, Alexis.
Hello.
So we are celebrating... I'm looking at the wrong camera. We are celebrating hitting 2 million views, and we are super, super excited and super thankful to everyone that has been supporting us this past year as we've been making videos. I just want to make sure you guys can hear us. Can you guys hear us?
You just keep going. Yeah, thank you.
Hi, Ashley. Can you hear us?
I'm pretty sure it's
Let's
working.
just assume you can hear us. Okay, so we are going to be talking a little bit about our YouTube journey and sharing some tips for people who are getting started on YouTube to kind of pay it forward. So I think one of the first things that we wanted to do was just kind of talk about maybe like our favorite videos that each one of us have. So what's your favorite video? Let's start with Alexis.
Singapore. All of the Singapore
Yeah,
videos.
speak up a little bit, I think.
Singapore. All of the Singapore videos were my favorite. Mom did such a great job on them, and one of the best parts was seeing how happy she was and how proud of them when she was done with them. So I like all of them.
Yeah, those Singapore videos take hours and hours to edit because we have so much footage. So that is why I'm not even done with them yet. So, yeah.
So I had the most fun making my fall vlog video because that was the first time that I'd done that much editing, and so I enjoyed that the most.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go with Alexis and go with the Singapore videos or the family lake vacation. So, because I guess those are somewhat like our family memories, and so
Yeah.
like I love watching them over and over.
They're really near and dear to our heart, all the vlogs, because of that reason. But the downside is they take so much more time to edit than our regular finance videos and tip videos, that kind of thing. But for us, once they're done, then we can just go and watch them all the time, and we do constantly.
So as most of you guys know, I mean, we have a lot of new subscribers, but we started making videos seriously, I would say in January, like end of December, beginning of January. End of December, I was in a job that I hated. And so I started making YouTube videos as like a creative outlet, just for fun, something to take my mind off of my miserable job. Because like, guys, I would cry Sunday evenings. You can ask them. Sunday evenings, when it was time to go to work the next day and it was time to start preparing to go to work, I would just get really sad, really just start crying. And so I knew that obviously that's not sustainable. And so I needed to do something else. They're trying to figure it out while I'm talking to you guys. I needed to do something to like take my mind off of the horror that was my day job while I was job hunting. And so Joseph encouraged me to go ahead and start the YouTube channel. And so I made a couple videos in December, made a couple in January, but things didn't really get moving until we did our husband tag.
That was such a long time ago.
Well, it seems like it. It's hundreds of videos ago.
Oh, hello, Ashley, and thank you, Dream Achieve. Wait, no, that's somebody else. I'm so sorry. Thank you, Enigma, for
Wait,
the
you have
happy
to say
birthdays.
what they're saying. Oh, happy birthday to
Yeah,
Alexis.
happy belated
Alexis'
birthdays.
birthday was
thank you.
last week.
And hello, the Buddy Zone. Sorry, I had to address our subscribers. Go on.
But so the husband tag was actually Alexis's idea because
I'm internet savvy.
Yeah, when we started YouTube, guys, we had zero internet presence. Like we had our from college Facebook friends, and that was it. I did not have Instagram. We didn't have Twitter. None of that.
And you know who helped them?
Alexis.
This girl right here.
Yeah, so I started my Instagram account, the One Big Happy Life Instagram account around, I don't know, March or something of last year, and Alexis had to show me how to use it. So that's how not social media tech savvy we were when we got started, and we had no idea that we were going to fall in love with it. And we really, really did. That's the only reason why we're still doing this. So I'd say that's probably tip number 2 for new YouTubers. Like, do it because you love it, okay? If you don't love it, then you're not going to be able to stick with it, and because it is a lot of work, especially upfront when you're only getting like pennies.
And that's what, oh, sorry. Yeah. Well, that's why people say that you should, when you pick a job, you should do the job that you love, because you're going to be spending such a long time doing it. You want to do something that you enjoy, because if you don't enjoy it, you're going to be miserable. So, like Mom with her old job.
Yeah. You were going to say something?
Well, so I was going to say that, so you can be a YouTuber without getting compensated for it. Like, that shouldn't be the reason that you're doing it, because for a long time, I mean, it just has to be fun. And
for a long time, your hourly wage will be very, very low. It'll be like pennies, but you're doing it because you love it.
It's still pennies when you think about how many 1,000 hours we have in this over the course of a year. Tip number 1 though is just start, right? Don't wait, because so we have a couple of much older videos on One Big Happy Life that were my hair videos, but I wasn't intending to make YouTube videos regularly. I just wanted to put my videos up there to pay it forward to the women coming behind me who wanted to go natural, because I was inspired by YouTube videos to make the transition to being natural. So that's why those older videos existed. But if I hadn't started, I would have never known really how much we love doing it as a family, and also that you can make, pretty good money if you put in the work up front. Like, it's only now, I feel like, that we're getting to the point where maybe our hours that we're putting into YouTube makes financial sense, but it always made sense from a love of doing it perspective. And what's great about it is we were able to start without purchasing any new camera equipment. Now, we have since purchased things, but we started out with just a camera that we had, and you can start out with a webcam or a camera that's just built into your computer. Doesn't even matter, or your phone. It doesn't take a lot of initial investment to just even give it a shot.
Yeah, this is a $50 webcam that we're on right now. And after, I guess, once the video processes and becomes a regular video, we'll go ahead and drop the link to this exact camera in the description box. It's cheap and it's great for anyone that's looking to start YouTube on a budget. But when I first started making videos, I was doing it on a Canon T5i, and now, and I still have that camera, and that's what I take our pictures with. But Joseph bought a camera, and so, what's your camera? I don't even know what it's called.
It's a Panasonic G7.
I just want to take a moment, address some comments. True Financials, thank you so much.
You have to
for
say
the
what
views.
she says. No one knows.
I said, they said...
Well, yeah.
Well, because they said they couldn't stay long.
Oh,
True
okay.
Financial said they couldn't stay long.
Oh,
They said congratulations for the
thank
views.
you.
Thank you so much.
Yes, we're
And
ecstatic.
then to all the people commenting on like my hair and it's me, just thank you so much. I love you all. I just want to say something because I am not as invested in the YouTube channel as they are, clearly, because they talk about finance and I don't know that much about finance. But I am involved with the vlogs. That's probably my main part of the channel because all the vlogs you see have my face on them. But vlogging, I think, is lots of fun because it's kind of where I get to shine. I get to be natural and laugh and be silly and myself, and that's lots of fun that I get to share that with other people. And vlogging is not that hard, trust me. So if you want to make a vlogging channel, then do it, because all you have to do is just talk about stuff and do things throughout the day, because millions of people watch those sorts of videos.
Now, which is actually a great point that Alexis just made, which brings us into our third tip for...
Yeah.
So we offered her a chair, and she's like, "Oh, I'm not going to stay that long."
Yeah,
so this is
that's
where
all
she
I
is.
wanted to say. That's my contribution. I love you guys. Thanks for supporting us. Bye.
So our third tip that has contributed to our growth is that we've always focused on helping people. First and foremost, just providing just really useful information or, entertaining. Like, one of the reasons why we do vlogs is to put a personal face on personal finance, to show you that you can take a balanced approach to personal finance and still have a fun life, a happy family, happy kids, and you get to do fun things together. And yes, it's okay to spend money sometimes, but
I think that's really helped us stand out from
Yeah.
the other channels that are in the personal finance world, because a lot of them have the same kind of mold. You're hearing the same process that they're going through, and so we thought that because we do things a little bit differently, that people would really enjoy hearing it. And fortunately, we were right, and a lot of people have really enjoyed it, and so it's been really exciting for us to see that.
I'm just going to take a step back and address one comment, which is Little Hot People made a comment about being happy to hear that women love their natural hair. So I have to confess, I am not natural anymore, but it's not because I don't love my natural hair and I don't, I'm relaxed now, but I miss my curlies. But the truth is that as my hair got longer, it was just taking a lot of time for me to do wash and goes twice a week, and I just don't have the time to maintain it right now, and that's the only reason why I am not natural anymore. But I am kind of text-laxed, so I'm trying to see I've only had one relaxer, and that was last September, and I'm still, so it's been growing out, and I haven't gotten another one. But I just wanted to throw that out there to address that comment. But okay, let's get back to the
my
YouTube
hair
tips.
is still natural, in case anyone was wondering.
A couple people have commented on Joseph's new do. That was Alexis's suggestion. I think Alexis is going to be, if she isn't already, your favorite One Big Happy Lifer, because Alexis was like, "Oh, well, maybe Dad should try one of those longer hair looks." She's like, "Why don't you try that, Mom?" So when I was cutting Joseph's hair, I'm like, "Okay, well, I'll just see what happens." And so this is what we have, and a lot of you guys like it. So more tips. Oh, tip number, you take the next one.
Which one are we
Tip,
on?
be consistent.
What?
Oops.
Oh.
I just said it.
Well, you can go ahead then. No. I'm just kidding. So being consistent has really helped us grow. I feel like it's a little bit difficult to figure out what exactly is growing your channel, which that's one of the fun and interesting parts. Because it's like a little mystery. You're trying to figure out what are people really enjoying. But we try to consistently post, and this year we have really consistently posted at least 3 videos on the same days.
Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
And so because we've been doing that, I think that really helps us keep our routine, and that's why we're able to continue to do it, because we stick to exactly the same thing. We know when we're going to shoot. We know what we have scheduled, and that makes it so much easier and so much more fun, because you don't have to worry about what you're going to do. And also I think that really pays off for YouTube recommending your videos, suggesting it to other people, because they know, hey, this is a reliable channel. So if you're interested in starting, even if it's once a week, just always have it on the same day, just in case that matters. And people will know, hey, well, Fridays, Thursdays, that's the time I can watch that channel.
Now, earlier someone asked if we schedule our videos. So normally, yes, we do. And our general goal is to be at least a week ahead on our video recording schedule. It doesn't always work out. Sometimes we're shooting by the seat of our pants. But because we're parents and we work full-time jobs outside of the house. So it's possible that stuff happens. Oh, and we've been sick. Reeve started preschool 2 days a week, and it's like every week he brings something home, and we all fall down like dominoes getting sick behind him. So that's kind of messed us up a little bit, but we've been staying on top of it, and no one would ever know that we were sick. So we do ideally batch record a lot of our videos, but we also try to stay agile and responsive to what's going on, especially in the personal finance sphere. If something pops up that we want to cover, then we'll go ahead and replace a scheduled video with something that's timely, like something about tax reform, for example.
You're next.
Well, I do want to add one more thing to that point, which is as you're making content, I think something that's been really, really important to us is to our growth is to be authentic. That wasn't on our list, but it's really important to us that we grow a YouTube channel that we're proud of, that we're not just hopping on like the next bandwagon and the next trend video or just doing things just for entertainment value. Like we 100% want to represent ourselves, our lives, who we are, what we love, our philosophy about life in our videos. So,
well, in addition, so on our social media, we also are putting out there things that we truly believe in, not just this thing that we think is going to get likes or anything like that. Especially like if anybody follows me on Twitter, then they'll know that I tweet about a variety of things. Most of them I think are hilarious. But lots of them are finance related. It's a little bit of everything.
And along those lines, we have been getting offers for sponsored videos for a long time now. I mean, you don't have to be a very big channel for people to start approaching you for you to recommend this or that product on your videos. And we've just been saying no because we're not going to recommend anything that we don't 100% believe is a good value and a good product. And we've only done a handful of sponsored videos, and it's because it's with things that we were already using. So it was like a no-brainer.
And things that also made sense with the message of our channel. Yeah. So, I mean, we could try to sell a lot of products, but our channel isn't about selling
and neither
products.
Are we. Like, we're not about amassing a whole bunch of stuff just to have stuff. That creates like a really cluttered and confused life. So just really be very cautious, as you're growing your channel you're going to be approached by a lot of people, and really just say no. If it doesn't feel right, say no. So that's another bit of advice. So someone asked us, how do we know that a video is done and ready to be shared? So most of our videos, we plan them out in advance. So that means we have a content calendar where we have like which videos we're going to talk about when. We have like a how to buy a house series. So that's outlined. We know what we're talking about in each video and the talking points that we want to hit in each video and how long we typically want each video to be. So when whoever's editing the video is doing it, they know what needs to be in the video. And so you edit the video and then you upload it and make your thumbnails and stuff and you're done.
Right. And Tasha normally edits the videos. I think most people knew that, but I think I'm going to be taking over more and more. And if you look back and notice closely, you can kind of tell that we have different editing styles. And so if you might be able to tell which one's, that one's Joseph.
Yeah. So especially if it has like outtakes and stuff at the end or really like silly jokes in the middle, that tends to be Joseph. I tend to be a little bit, I don't know, my humor is just different. So, and when I'm about putting out like what I feel is a very important message, and like when it comes to personal finance and getting honest and complete and just fully knowledgeable information out there, I'm so passionate about it, guys. It's what I do day in and day out because I'm a consumer finance attorney during the day. I do that for 8 hours. I do banking regulatory work, and then I come home and I talk about this. So then I can get really passionate and serious about it. And Joseph's just like, wow, like, basically.
Unfortunately, I can't do all the editing on my own or thumbnails to some extent because I'm partially colorblind, and so when I start messing with the colors, it's like, oh yeah, this looks great. But I'm missing that it's red or something like that. And that happens from time to time. So I always make her double check my colors.
So someone asked, what device did we use when we started recording videos? That was my Canon T5i. I've had that camera for years and years and years. It's actually the very first video that was ever put up on this channel, which was 2013, I think, 2014, when I big chopped 2013. 2014? That was with my Canon T5i because I was taking pictures. Someone else mentioned that they wanted to learn how to blog. So we did also launch a website, a companion website to One Big Happy Life, onebighappylife.com. Please go check it out because I work really hard on it. So we'd love for you to support us over there too. And you definitely should. Every YouTube channel should have a companion website, because at the end of the day, as much as I love YouTube and I think that it is the best place to grow your platform, if you have 0 subscribers, 0 Instagram followers, 0 blog visitors, start on YouTube, because YouTube wants to help you, because they want people watching you, because the more people watch you, the more money they make. So YouTube, unlike any other platform in existence right now, helps people find you. They want to connect your audience to you. And that's the only reason why we've grown. We don't have social media followings elsewhere that didn't come from One Big Happy Life. We had 0 Instagram followers. Now we have 3,000. And I actually don't even post that often on Instagram. I need to get better at that. So definitely start a blog.
Yeah, so one of the things that will help next.
Oh, wait, one more thing. And I have an article about how to start a blog on our website, because I just did it. So, yeah.
Okay, so spend time improving the quality of the videos that you are putting out, and focus on just getting better for you, whether that's getting better with your editing skills or getting better talking on the camera. If everybody has watched the husband tag and looks at me then versus me now, so I'm still not just amazing on camera all the time, but I am far more relaxed, and that just comes from me purposefully working on getting comfortable in front of the camera and figuring out what I'm going to say faster, that kind of thing.
And that's why I really like the vlogs, because in the vlogs, you get to see our personalities more versus the personal finance videos where we're really trying to pump in a whole bunch of information in a very short amount of time. And we still get all kinds of comments about, but you didn't talk about this. I'm like, guys, but it's a 10-minute video though, but it's only 10 minutes. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think the last tip is really, you want to be in it for the long haul if you're hoping to grow your channel to like mega success. It's gonna take a while, and so don't get discouraged if you are putting out 10, 30, 40 videos before you gain really any traction at all. It just it could just be a whim that all of a sudden YouTube recommends a video, and then you start getting subscribers regularly. So it's just something that's going to take a while, and so don't get discouraged early.
And definitely in the beginning, do the throwing spaghetti at the wall thing just to see what sticks. Try all sorts of different kinds of videos. See what kinds of videos you love making. See what kinds of videos your audience loves to watch. And hopefully there's like this part where, those videos kind of intersect. And so you'll find that you can make lots of videos that you love making that your audience also loves to watch. And it's okay for your channel to grow slowly. And a small channel can still make, a decent amount of money. Because I think we had our first $1,200 month when we were at 10,000 subscribers. Now, we had a video that did really well that month, so it went down again after that. But it didn't go all the way down. We've always, I think from 3 or 4 months in, we were making a couple $100s a month. So it's at least paying for itself, and it's like a nice little side hustle if you already love doing it anyway. So I love it. It's just so much fun. Now let's see some of the questions.
So somebody had a question about buying a home. Like, let's see, corporate job and use savings to travel instead of buying a house. Okay, so Alexander Schmidt, I'm not sure I completely understand the question about our thoughts on traveling the world.
People who quit their jobs and sell everything and go travel the world.
So if we felt like that were a legitimate option for us, we would totally do that. The reason that it's not is because part of our financial plan includes us working for 10 years in public service jobs. And so because it includes that, until we're done with that, we're not going to quit our jobs.
And I think the fear of I think some of that question comes from this sort of scarcity mindset that people tend to have about money, which is that, well, if I quit my job, if I sell everything, how am I ever going to get all of that back? How, after I travel the world for a couple of years, how am I going to come back and reestablish myself? I'll never be able to. And the truth is that, yes, you can. People do it all the time. It's once we expand our mindset and start thinking from a place of abundance and, of capability that no matter what, we're going to make this happen, then it becomes easier to do some of the things that people think are crazy risky. Like, I've moved all over the country with Alexis. And most people think, well, once you start a family, you're kind of set in stone and you're done. You just have to buy your house and sit there. I've also owned, I don't know, 3, 4 different houses in different places. This is the longest I've ever owned a house, which we're coming up on our 3rd year. And a lot of people, I just read today on a personal finance blog, if you're not going to live in a place for 5 or 10 years, then don't buy a house. It just depends, you know? And so I hate when people make these kinds of blanket statements that lead to this that reinforces a scarcity mindset, because life is just not like that. Not anymore. That's just not the world that we live in. And someone else actually mentioned that we seem to have experience and knowledge, that the Buddy Zone says that we seem to have experience and knowledge that is unique to the YouTube personal finance community. Looking forward to How to Buy a House series. So yes, we don't talk a lot about our credentials, but you know, Joseph and I are both attorneys. Joseph did commercial real estate transactions for a number of years, and I am a consumer finance attorney. So what that means is that my work revolves around banking regulation from the consumer finance side. So that means I'm highly knowledgeable in all sorts of credit products, mortgages, loans, banking regulations when it comes to what banks can and can't do and are required to do under consumer protection laws. So there aren't a lot of people in that have that level of, you know, expertise when it comes to consumer finance law, and like none of them are on YouTube. And it gives you a different perspective when you see things from the back end of a business, of really some of the biggest banks in the country, and understanding the way credit and markets work and things like that. And so our goal is to simplify all of that and distill all of that knowledge in a way that empowers you guys to make your best financial decisions.
Okay, to answer a quick question from Michelle. So you can sell your house if you haven't paid off the mortgage?
What's the question?
Oh, so can you sell your house if you haven't paid off the mortgage? And so you can. The only issue is how much you've paid off. So if your house is worth about how much you owe, then you're probably going to have to pay some closing costs and things like that, and that's going to come out of pocket. If the value is much higher than what you paid, than what the balance is on the mortgage, then you're okay. You probably won't have to come out of pocket to sell it, but you don't have to pay it all the way off.
Yeah, I've always just looked for the phenomenal deals when I buy a house. So I've always moved into a house and had equity already. And then it also helped that I have made sure to buy houses when the market was doing well. So that has enabled me to sell houses in 2 years or less. My first house I sold in just 9 months, and I made $14,000 off of the sale. So that was fun. And that's after paying all the crazy realtor commissions, which nowadays I know not to do that. So
someone asked if you still do the LSAT tutoring on the side.
I don't. No.
There would be absolutely no time for her to do that. I mean, our typical days. So we get up very early. We get up at like 4 a.m, make it to the train at 5, and then we're gone all day. Get home like 4:15. And so if it's a weekday, we tend to not have much time for YouTube at all, which is why we have to do the videos in advance. Because coming home at 4:15, getting something to eat, and then shooting some videos before we have to be in bed.
Also trying to get a workout in. Reeves has to go to bed by 6:30, 7 o'clock. You know, spending some time with Alexis, spending some time, you know, with each other. And then before we go to sleep at 8 or 8:30, there isn't a lot of time. So someone at Little Hot People said that they want to start making videos but don't want to show their face. What kind of videos would be best to make? So I would say animations, because people, it's YouTube. They want to see you. So if you look at, there are some people that have just huge internet followings, huge websites, huge podcasts, like Paula Pant, for example. She posts her podcast, which is an awesome podcast, on YouTube, but her YouTube channel is growing very slowly, and not because the content isn't excellent. It's because she never shows her face. So
on the other hand, I would say if you're doing something, I don't know what you're capable of doing with your hands in terms of, are you a great artist? Are you those kinds of things? Well, you could show a drawing or a painting or you working with your hands on craft things without showing your face, and nobody would think anything of it, really, because there are lots of videos like that, or anything that has products. I mean, one of the biggest channels is just some younger girl that plays, well, now she's probably older, she's probably a woman now, where she opens and plays with toys.
With just her hands? She's never shown her face?
Well, she might have now, but for a long time it was just that. And so it's like, well, okay. But so anything with products, if you're reviewing products, you don't necessarily have to show your face.
But along those lines, though, huge warning. What worked for YouTube 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years ago, because those are really old channels, that's not going to work today. So I would not, and this is why it's so important that newer YouTubers give tips like this, because it's just not the same environment. There used to be a lot less competition, and the bar was a lot lower for what qualified as good content, and
they also used to pay a lot more, should be known. And
yes.
That might come back. And so, but if you've ever, if you looked into YouTube, heard of Adpocalypse, when they started having ads played on videos that had content that the advertisers were not okay with, well, YouTube hasn't completely recovered from that yet, and they're still trying to figure out how best to place the advertisers with content that they know is relatively safe. And so it's good to be safe.
Okay, so this is the last question that we're going to answer before we sign off. So someone asks, what do we think of non-ranked law schools? They say law schools are mostly about rankings, but the rankings haven't changed much in the past few years. Don't go there unless you go there for free.
Yeah, realistically, rankings really do matter in the employment world. Even people that have graduated from schools and top 25,
top 14. So I work with other people who've graduated in the top 14 schools, but towards the bottom, and they talk about their classmates struggling to find jobs.
And that's really a problem with the legal field generally. So unlike doctors, where the American Medical Association, like when they accredit so many med schools, they don't allow them to graduate too many doctors. Well, in the legal field, ABA doesn't limit how many law schools there are or how many you're graduating. And so law schools are everywhere because they've made a lot of money for colleges. And so the problem with that is we've graduated thousands more attorneys than the country actually needs. And that's why it's gotten harder and harder to find jobs, even for very, very well-trained attorneys.
And so I will say, but not for attorneys who went to my school. I mean, I have to be honest. This is really important. I thought it was nonsense. I thought it was BS, but I went, like, in my mind, the whole word. When people were saying that when I went to the Yale Admitted Students Weekend, and I'm like, oh, well, I can't decide between Yale or Stanford, or, well, I got this full ride at Michigan, and then I also got a really good scholarship at Virginia, and they're like, but it's Yale. And I'm like, but you're snobs. You know, like, serious. I was just like, I can't go to this school if that's how, like, I just can't do that. And at the end of the day, there were other things that attracted me to Yale that offset the bad taste left in my mouth by some of the more, like, snobby students. And so I went there.
Well, so in my experience meeting her classmates, that must have been very rare.
Very rare. So, yeah, I just picked a bad apple.
They're really, really good people.
No, very nice. Like, my classmates are awesome. I just happened to talk. There are a handful of people. I think everywhere. There's always some people everywhere. But everybody knows those people. And so that's fine. But it just is true. And I think that it's really important because people go out and they get all this student loan debt and they don't, you know, at a top 25 school, which should be an excellent school, but in the legal field, you will struggle to find a job unless you graduate at the top of your class or if you go to one of the top schools. And I have heard that even Harvard, because they graduate so many people, there can be some difficulty if you're towards the bottom of your class. I don't know that for sure, but...
There's one last last question about if we felt imposter syndrome in law school.
Yes. So I'm actually in the middle of writing a blog post about how to live a happy life. And we're also going to do a companion video about it because how have we not done a video about that when the name of our channel is One Big Happy Life. And law school was hard for me because you can't tell from the way I talk, but I grew up in Brooklyn, New York, East New York, like right around the corner from the projects. And I think the only reason I speak like this is because my parents are from Guyana. And so, you know, my mom's all about the Queen's English. And so always made sure that I pronounced all of my consonants and didn't really use that many contractions and all of that. So that's why I speak like this, even though I grew up in Brooklyn. And so it was really strange for me talking to people whose family owned islands and, you know, who grew up snorkeling in Roatan. Who even knows where Roatan is? Like, I didn't know that.
You just made that up. That's not a real place.
And you know, you've met the person. I'm just saying. And love them. Lovely people. But, like, I was lucky I got to go to Disneyland when I was 16. And so that was just a completely different world. And then I'm also at these fancy law firms where, just being honest, there weren't a lot of black people. And I remember the first law firm mixer I went to, there was this group of black women in suits. And I'm like, oh, I'm going to go there and I'm going to talk to them. And to find out they were all the paralegals. And so, and the assumption was that when people would see me, that I was a paralegal too and not an attorney. And that is part of why I didn't like working at big law firms, because it's still very much like an old boys club. All the partners are, you know, older white men. And I love myself, you know, a white man, obviously, but also black men. And I've dated Hispanic men, just in case anyone's wondering, like, I'm equal opportunity here. But the truth is that I saw, like, it was harder for me to build the relationships that were necessary in order to get the choice assignments that would eventually lead to partnership. At least for me, I just didn't feel comfortable. It's better now, because obviously after years of being exposed to those circles, I'm more comfortable now. But back then, it just didn't feel right to me. And I didn't want to spend my time, you know, doing work that I didn't really enjoy. Now, my current practice, I could totally do at a big law firm. And if I had known that this existed there, I may have done it. But then also in an environment where I didn't feel comfortable.
Yeah, I, on the other hand, felt just at ease in law school, other than the fact that it was really competitive. I mean, because the grades actually mattered, and I didn't go to Yale, so... Yeah,
we didn't have grades. There was no competition.
Yeah, and so that being the case, it was interesting having to really compete for grades, knowing that, well, it's not just okay that you do a certain level on the exam, and then you're good, you get an A. No, you have to do that certain level and better than the other 90% of the class, otherwise you won't get that A. And so that was the biggest struggle for me, adjusting to that level of competition and the curves, that kind of thing.
Okay. And so we are done. This is supposed to be YouTube tips, but you guys asked us questions about law school. And I just want to say thank you to Marge for complimenting Alexis. She is awesome and we love her. And yeah. Would we open a private practice together? No.
No, this is our joint business right here.
Yeah. One Big Happy Life. And this is what we love doing, talking about personal finance, making creative video content. And so expect to see, although we are currently making a lot of personal finance videos, that's in part because it's cold outside. And so we're not doing any DIY projects. We're not really traveling that much. So there'll be more of a variety as the warmer weather comes in. So hopefully you guys will stick with us through that. And, you know, if you have questions, you know, you can always drop us a comment. We are having a hard time keeping up with the comments now, I will be honest, but we read them all, but we don't necessarily respond to all of them, and I'm so sorry.
Yeah, so your best shot, I think we'll kind of lay down the rules. If you're one of the first few commenters, then you're much more likely to get a response.
Because we're on there. Yeah.
It is just way too many. I can't keep up.
But we read them. Yes. Well, all right, guys, that is it for today. Thank you for loving our vlogs. Ashley, please watch them because we love making them, but no one watches them. Tear. Okay. All right, bye, guys. You didn't say bye.
Bye. I don't know how to turn it off.
I'm going to turn it off.
So I'm just going to sit here and
keep talking.
Until Tasha figures it out. I'm hoping to have more investing videos, but I don't know.